Hi, this is Nicole Hetty from Paper Tray Ink, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about our new die, the Tissue Paper Favors #1 die. I'm really excited about this. It's a really cool way to make customized favors for all of your get-togethers and parties for just a few pennies and coordinate with your decor and everything. A lot of fun to work with. First, I wanted to show you a bit about cutting the tissue paper to prepare it to use it with the die. Here I have a sheet of tissue paper, and your goal is to have two 11-inch squares of tissue paper. And I think it's easier to work with the tissue paper if it's folded into quarters. So right here, I already have it folded in half in the way that it came in the package. And I'm just going to go ahead and fold it over again. So we essentially have 4 layers of the tissue paper here. 2 layers, and then the 2 layers with the center point over here. I'm going to go ahead and just stick this right into my paper trimmer. And since half of 11 is 5 1/2, I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 5 1/2. Make sure everything's lined up here. And then I'm going to turn this and cut the other side at 5 1/2. So when I unfold that, you'll see I have an 11-inch square of tissue paper. A lot of times from the tissue paper being in the package, it has some creases and folds in it. And I would recommend just quickly running an iron over this. It doesn't have to be a very high heat, but it helps the end result of the favor be a bit more clean and crisp if you get rid of some of those creases. Now when working with this die, I just wanted to show you a little something. There's only a cutting blade on this decorative edge right here. The rest of it is just a base for you to use as a guide. You're going to want to line the center points of your squares up with the corner right here. So I want to find, I've got both of my squares here freshly pressed, and I want to find my center point, which is right here. So I'm going to line that up. And the other square, my center point is right here. And line that up. Since the tissue paper is so thin, you can go ahead and cut both of these with the die at the same time. So I'm going to go run these through my die cutting machine real quick. Okay, so I've just run these through my machine. And I'm going to remove those from the die, and I'm going to go ahead and unfold them. Now if you're using tissue paper with a pattern on it, you want to make sure that you put the pattern side down. Now these can hold a small goodie. The dimensions of the treat kind of depend on the width versus the height, so you'll just have to experiment a bit, but it has to be something fairly small in size. I'm going to layer the 2 of these on top of one another to actually create the favor. And what you want to do, here's what they look like when they're lined up, and what you want to do is you want to turn them so they fall in between the petals of the bottom layer, just like that. Okay. I'm going to use one of our little small tins here in the center of this. And what I'm going to do to wrap this is I'm going to pull up the opposing sides like this. And then pull up the other two sides, making sure the tin kind of stays flat in there. So there I've got all 4 of my sides pulled up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just gather, kind of smoothing out as you go. So now I'm going to just take a bit of ribbon here. Going to wrap it around the gathered tissue. And I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to try to make sure that the gathering is kind of in the middle of the tin, just like that. And you totally, obviously don't even need to put a tin in here. It could be like some stacked Ghirardelli squares or anything really. That's the good thing about these, is they can be adaptable to whatever you want to put inside. They don't have to be a certain shape for it to work. So I'm just going to finish this off with a little bow. Like that. And then I'm going to fluff out the petals of the tissue paper. And as you can see, I have a quick and easy favor, all complete for just a few pennies, and I can add a decorative tag to finish it off.